Today I have this wood board that I picked up at Hobby Lobby on clearance. I believe I paid about $5. It has 3 large slats, almost like a tongue and groove type board. And I started by painting it with Iron Mountain by Wise Owl and allowing that to dry. I have this honeycomb stencil and some salt wash. And I mixed up some gray linen, only because it's what I had around and it was kind of close to the color, and some salt wash to create a paste. And I'm applying this honeycomb type stencil randomly throughout my board. I believe I got the stencil at Hobby Lobby. You can see there's a bee on the other side of the stencil. They're very inexpensive. I want to say they're like $2.99, something like that at Hobby Lobby. And I'm just using a little art tool. And when I'm doing the stencil, I'm not looking for full coverage. I'm just doing random patches, all different sizes. And then I allowed this to dry. Once dry, I took some citron, and I'm really emphasizing on filling in the beehive. I want to get that yellow down in the honeycomb stencil. And then I do randomly, and I also want to really get that paint down in those creases of the board. So I want these things to stand out. And then I just covered the rest very quickly. Then I went back in with Iron Mountain once that dried. I did wait for that to dry. And started balancing the color out. When you're doing mixed media, it's a lot of back and forth and just layering paint. So now I'm adding chocolate. And I'm getting the chocolate in the creases. I'm not fully covering the honeycomb, but I am getting it in there. I do want this color to peek through just a tad. I want this board to kind of look like an older, rustic appearance. That all dried, and now I'm going back in with the Iron Mountain as I wanted this to be my main color. And I'm filling in more the boards, less the honeycomb. And now I am covering this with Wise Owl 1 Hour Enamel Clear. StudioR12.com. That's where we got the stencil, and it says local honey. It wouldn't fit on my board, so I decided to cut it. I'm going to put local at the top and the honey at the bottom. So I'm just making a plan, and I'm going to use some blue tape to hold down my stencil. And using a dabber. And very little paint. I believe this is Snow Owl or Antique Villa. And I'm filling in all the letters. Now the key with stenciling is less paint, and you want to make sure that you've unloaded your dabber before doing your stencils. And then I am filling in my letters with an art brush. Doing the same with the word honey. I'm using a art brush, a long stick, to hold down the stencil, especially when I'm near where the raised stencil is, just to help me make sure I get it in that area. And I did go ahead and stencil in the bee over on the left there, and then I filled in my letters again with an art brush. Once that dried, I took a 220 sanding block and just went over my letters. This kind of just takes any imperfection away, and I do want this sign to look, you know, a little bit more rustic. And now I'm using my Sunflower Fields transfer. This transfer can be found at chalkitupfancy.com. They're going to go fast, and they are sold out at the wholesale level. A lot of the floral ones are sold out at the wholesale level. And it's just being patient and waiting for them to come back in. And when they come back in, we will get more. This is just a very fun, bright yellow transfer. It's by far one of my favorite. I feel like you can use it for spring. I feel like you can use it for fall. And it's just drawing out that yellow that I put in my board. And of course, this transfer has 3 panels. So I'm just using a few pieces from it. Transfers are quite easy to apply. They all come with this little stick that you just rub the image on. And then you want to take a cloth and really rub it and make sure that it has, you know, full coverage. And then when I was done, I went over with 1 hour enamel again. Very easy process. I just love the sign. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to see other tutorials, go check us out on YouTube. You can also watch at chalkitupfancy.com. Thank you so much. And again, any paint products or transfers, chalkitupfancy.com. Thank you.